All right, today's target will be evaluating expressions. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to substitute replacement values for variables in algebraic expressions. You'll be able to evaluate an algebraic expression given replacement values for those variables. There's kind of two steps here that we're going to work on. There's a relatively simple target. However, it's important that you take your time, make sure you're familiar with your order of operations. And what we'll do in class is I'll show you a good way that you can use your calculator to help eliminate some simple mistakes. So first off, prerequisite knowledge, your order of operations. This is very, very important. All right, you learned this in middle school, 6th grade, 7th grade math when you were first learning how to do simplify multi-step problems. Not going to go away. It's very important. Now it starts with parentheses, also includes things like absolute values and square roots. Simplify whatever is inside the parentheses, whatever's inside the absolute value bars, whatever is inside the square roots before you do anything else. Next up is exponents. Okay. Next, multiplication and division, you always work left to right. Just because when you think about PEMDAS, M comes first, doesn't mean you have to do multiplication first. You go left to right. Same with addition and subtraction. This is the last thing you're going to do. But similar to multiplication and division, you simply work left to right. All right. Best way we can do this is look at a few examples. So here's example number 1. I'm going to do a couple, and then you're going to do one. It's that simple. All right, so we're going to start with 5x plus the square root of y divided by 2. We've got a couple replacement values, x equals -2 and y equals 8. Okay, so we're going to plug those in. X is going to go in for x. Y is going to go in for y. When you plug these in, get in the habit of putting them in parentheses. So in 5, instead of x, I'm going to put parentheses -2. And then I'm going to have a square root instead of y. I'm going to have parentheses 8 divided by 2. Okay? Now, there are some cases where parentheses aren't needed. However, it's better to get in the habit of putting parentheses even if they are not needed. It's better to do that than to not have parentheses when they are needed. Okay? So even though here this 8 under the square root doesn't really need to be in parentheses, it's better that it is than it isn't. Okay? So when we simplify this, we're going to start with what's inside the square root. Okay, 8 divided by 2 gives us the square root of 4. Okay. Next, the square root of 4 is 2. Hopefully you know your perfect squares. 4, 9, 16, etc. On the left side, we've got some multiplication. We can go ahead and do that. 5 times -2, which is -10. -10 plus 2 is -8. There's my answer. Okay. Fairly simple process. But key mistakes are made are negative mistakes, forgetting to put numbers in parentheses when you substitute. So take your time, follow your order of operations, and you should be in good shape. Okay. Example number 2. Evaluate the following expression with given replacement values. Once again, same type of problem, different expression, different variables, different replacement values. Okay. Now, some of these are a little bit longer. Students forget a variable. Okay. So you want to look for this semicolon, okay? That semicolon is the stop. That's where your expression stops. So a lot of students will make a mistake because they'll forget about this -c over there. They won't see it, okay? That was not a pun, I'm sorry. But make sure you include all the variables. So we've got absolute value of 3a. Instead of a, we're going to replace it with 2. We're going to put it in parentheses. B is 9. We're also going to put that in parentheses. And outside we have minus -4, which we're going to put in parentheses. Okay. The first two in the A and the B don't really need to be in parentheses. But like I said, it's better to put them in there than not. So we're going to simplify the parentheses first. Sorry, the absolute value first. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 minus 9 is -3. Not doing anything with what's over here yet. I will here in a second. Just going to kind of bring that along. So we're just simplifying here on the right. Okay. We started here. We did 3 times 2 to get 6. We did 6 minus 9 to get -3. Now, the absolute value, you have to remember, makes whatever number is inside it positive. So the absolute value of -3 is really just 3. Okay. So we have 3 minus a -4. Here, is where putting the number in parentheses is very important, because we have a double negative, okay? We have minus -4. Now, hopefully you remember, 2 negatives makes a positive. But if you forget to put that -4 in parentheses, a lot of students will drop one of those 2 negatives, and they'll turn this problem into 3 minus 4, when as you see here, it really should be 3 plus 4. So 7 is the correct answer. -1 would be a very common incorrect answer. So please be careful. Please get in the habit of putting your values in parentheses when you substitute them into the equation or into the expression. All right, here's your turn. Okay, pause the video now and try it. All right, here we go. Square root of 3x plus 2y minus 5z. Once again, find that semicolon, draw a line through it so you don't miss that last variable. Plug in our values in. It's right here. We're going to start by simplifying what's inside the square root. 3 times 3 gave us 9. 2 times 8 gave us 16. Okay, 16 and 9 gave us 25. The square root of 25 is a perfect square. That gave us 5. Okay, down the left side, we kept it the same until we got here. -5 times -1 gave us a positive 5. Make sure you watch those negatives. A negative times a negative is a positive. At the very end, 5 plus 5 gave us 10. 10 is the correct. Sorry about the bell, guys. All right, that's it. However, before I leave you, I want you to make a note of this, okay? It's a very easy concept, okay? Simple arithmetic, simple plugging it in. However, I've seen so many students make simple mistakes, whether it's unit tests or the SOL, and it's because you're not following order of operations or you make a negative mistake, just small little things. So please, when you're doing a problem like this, take your time, check your answer, okay? I'm going to show you in class how to use your calculator. Use it, okay? Put those, when you plug those values in, put them in parentheses, okay? Taking a little bit of time, an extra 30 seconds, should result in the correct answer, hopefully an avoidance of some simple, silly mistakes.